to the main story of the stream. I think you guys already know it is going to be about Mateus Fernandes. Gary Jacob says that Tottenham are increasingly confident they can beat Manchester United to the signing of Fernandes for up to £80 million from West Ham United. Ben Jacobs says that Spurs are in advanced talks with Mateus Fernandes as they rival Manchester United for the West Ham midfielder. Fernandes is one of Tottenham's top targets, as exclusively revealed. West Ham seeking 80 to 85 million, around double what they paid to Southampton. An incoming £90 million shareholder cash injection is likely to leave West Ham in a stronger negotiating position. Manchester United are also in talks with Fernandes and West Ham. Spurs are also rivaling Man City to Sandro Tonali, and Spurs, Manchester United and Arsenal all have Alex Scott on their radar, who Bournemouth hope to sign a new deal. Movement expected now in the next days and weeks and on all fronts as clubs enter the new financial year on July the 1st. Now, this is where it gets a bit interesting. Samuel Luckhurst of the Manchester Evening News says that Man U are now at risk of being blown out of the water by Tottenham on wages for Mateus Fernandes. Spurs going big on target salaries, whereas United have started to get the wage management under control. All the ITKs are all suggesting, Spurs journal SZY are saying that Spurs have now come to a verbal agreement with West Ham for Mateus Fernandes. Himothy is saying that Tottenham are extremely confident in completing the signing of Mateus Fernandes within the next 7 days. So let's hope these guys are ahead of the curve. Spurs journal SZY both saying a verbal agreement has now been reached with West Ham for Mateus Fernandes. So yeah, all we're waiting for, we need to be getting the Ornstein and Fabrizio Romano bombers now. That's all that's left.
Yeah, but if they're all getting the same information, I'm not saying it's guaranteed, but it's very, very interesting. And if there is truth that Tottenham have agreed a deal with Mateus Fernandes, that would mean that Man United have, spent weeks and weeks and weeks trying to get that deal agreed, yet Tottenham have swooped in and got that deal agreed very quickly. That would suggest the deal is moving extremely fast-paced and extremely in the right direction. And I don't think Tottenham would swoop in and do that unless you're getting some form of recognition from the Fernandes camp that he is very interested to come with you to Tottenham if we can get that deal agreed. We have heard from other reporters that personal terms wouldn't be an issue with Tottenham and Fernandes, but we also have heard that Fernandes would prefer a move to Man United, all things being equal. So I guess that it's extremely exciting. Spurs have the potential that Tottenham have maybe agreed a fee with West Ham. We'll have to wait for more official kind of reports to come in. Although you have to say these ITKs, a lot of them have been in the past quite accurate in a lot of things. So I wouldn't say it's nonsense just because they said it. But I've just got you've got to always take these things with a bit of a pinch of salt, just because until you hear it from a really top journalist or the club, then you never truly know where you lie. But it is very interesting that they're all saying a fee agreed off the back of we've been saying over the last few days. This move does seem to be going the right direction. All the noise seems to be very, very positive. We have heard from journalists, reliable journalists, that Tottenham are very serious and this move is going in a good. There have been positive talks. So people have said that, haven't they? Been positive talks with Fernandes camp and Tottenham over the last few days. So maybe there is a lot of validity to what these ITKs are saying. And it can't have been easy to have got this agreement because, as we've said, Man United have really struggled to do it. So we must have been putting a lot of money on the table, put it that way. We must put a really serious big offer on the table for Fernandes if we've gotten a deal agreed so early. We haven't even heard about getting a deal rejected or anything. That seems to be our first offer. Although you never really know what behind the scenes, if there's been offers turned down or what. But I mean, what are we talking about? 80 million potentially here. And we're blowing Man United away in wages, according to Sam Luckhurst, which is insane to me. I mean, when was the last time that's ever happened?
It's never happened. It's never happened in the history of the Premier League. This is going into new territory here. But with Sam Luckhurst, he actually reported this morning that Man United are growing increasingly confident to make.
Mockbell just tweeted about it.
Oh, what's Mockbell said?
Tottenham, he just says Tottenham hold talks over West Ham midfielder Fernandes. Talks ongoing. A bit some optimism. A deal is possible. Man United have also shown interest in the Portugal midfielder. So it seems most people are saying that we are front runners at the moment. And that's what most people are reporting now.
But, Man United have been front runners for so long. And what I was just about to say in terms of Samuel Luckhurst, he actually reported this morning that Man United are growing increasingly confident that Mateus Fernandes is going to be their next midfield signing after Ederson. And now he's reporting that, Man United are getting blown out the water. So that is a journalist with close ties to Manchester United. He is a Manchester United journalist for the Manchester Evening News. So he does report a lot on Man U and fairly reliable, I think. Apparently, Ben Jacobs has just tweeted.
So just quickly going into the article from BBC, Sammy Mockbell, Tottenham have accelerated their interest in West Ham's Mateus Fernandes after a failed bid for Sandro Tonali. Fernandes is now viewed as their primary target, with talks ongoing, according to sources, progressing positively, and Spurs optimistic agreement can be reached. West Ham understood to want about 80 million for the Portuguese international, who is linked with Man United and PSG. Last week they had a bid rejected for Tonali. It is understood the offer was worth. Oh no, as for Tonali, it was worth about 80 million. So there now it seems to be very positive about it as well. The BBC. So that's really encouraging as well. And there's no smoke without fire here. They're all talking very positively about it. And now these ITK saying there's a verbal agreement. So now that maybe they're playing catch up here potentially, and maybe we're going to hear about a verbal agreement coming.
You know what? Yeah, if we get this deal over the line, can we just put all to bed this rivalry with Spurs and West Ham? There's no rivalry here. All they like to do is help us out. Kudus over the line last summer. Canute, Defoe, Scott Parker, all these players that have come from West Ham to Tottenham. This is no rivalry. What sort of rivalry is this? You know what I mean?
All it is with them getting relegated and we're taking their best players. That's all that happens.
They're our feeder club.
Every time, literally. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for them. We're taking yet again. They've gone relegated and we're taking their best player. We actually sent them down and then took their best player.
Mate, they are literally our feeder club. History is repeating itself once again. And you're all laughing and joking last year about Kudus and, West Ham pretending like they didn't care, Nicky pretending that he didn't care and everything. Are they going to care now? Because they're all waxing lyrical.
You know what's mad about when a lot of the discussion last year when we were potentially in for Kudus was surely West Ham wouldn't sell to us, but that hasn't even been in the discussion this year, has it? That hasn't even been a factor. It's like whatever. Of course, because maybe it's because we know they would because they already sold us Kudus, and maybe they're just more willing to do a deal now. But no one has said, "Oh, we can't sell to Tottenham." It's not even being really a factor anymore. So. Look, money talks, I guess, when you're in the position that West Ham is. You can't, I guess you can't really afford to be picky once you've been relegated and you're just desperate for the money. It's just about who gives the best offer. And it looks like we might have picked Man United to the post here. I mean, it's a brilliant signing. It really is a brilliant signing. I think it really adds quality to that midfield. It adds that midfielder that I think we're all kind of craving for. Really technical, brilliant passer, great on the turn, picking up the ball in difficult areas. And I think it really just ups the quality that we needed in central midfield. Hopefully, we're not done there. But Mateus Fernandes is a great signing, and I think it's going to get a lot of Tottenham fans very excited about what this summer could offer. Really,
yeah, and it's interesting as well with all the talk of Sandro Tonali. SZY said earlier that Zerbi really wants a Fernandes over a Sandro Tonali, and he's the real one that we're pushing for, and he's the one that we if he didn't say this, but if he had to choose, he'd potentially go for Fernandes over Tonali. Let's hope we can get both over the line. If we get both of those over the line, that is the midfield sorted. The midfield sorted for a number of years. You imagine that double pivot of Sandro Tonali and Mateus Fernandes. Are you joking? Fernandes, 21 years of age, 85 million. There's no chance he's going anywhere anytime soon. Sandro Tonali, one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. What was he, 26 years of age, going into his prime years now? Like, that would be one of the best midfield pivots in the Premier League. I'm not even joking.
And when you talk about Fernandes as well, like when we speak about Bergvall, the reality is Fernandes is only 1 year, so it's not like we're going away from we're not like we're going away from like signing young players. We're just getting young players more proven and can go straight in and is of high quality right now. So even if we like people say, oh, are we sacrificed in the future selling the likes of Bergvall, Vuskovic? But the reality is, if we sell Bergvall, Fernandes is only a year older. It's not like he's 10 years older. So that's still investing in the future, is my point, even though he can come now and hopefully perform right now.
Yeah, absolutely spot on. Absolutely spot on. But I think, like, from what they've both shown in the Premier League, for me, Mateus Fernandes is so much further along than a Lucas Bergvall. I know Lucas had a good season a couple of years ago, but I think the levels that Mateus Fernandes has shown, not only for West Ham this season, but also for Southampton, he's got much better at West Ham, don't get me wrong. I just enjoy watching him play so much. And I was watching him last season, him and Somerville in the second half of the season, Fernandes pretty much all the way through the season, just stood out, man. They stuck out like a sore thumb, the quality that they were showing. And Fernandes, I think under Zerbi will get even better on the ball. I think, under Nuno, he didn't have to, he wasn't able to show his ability on the ball maybe as much as he wanted. But I think he's got real quality on the ball. And I think what De Zerbi's really going to love about these two guys, about Fernandes and Tonali, is their work rate, their sheer energy levels, their tenacity. The work rate is undeniable, particularly, well, with both of them, but with Mateus Fernandes, I mean, he's like a bull in a china shop in that West Ham midfield. He was doing everything at all times. Like, he had to, I think you said it the other day, he had to do the running for him and Thomas Suchek. Well, yeah. he really did do that though, didn't he?
Yeah, and he's got incredible energy. He gets around the pitch really well, but the quality is undeniable. And, West Ham really struggled as a team, but he was a shining light in a really struggling team as well. So I really think as well, you put him in under the coaching De Zerbi. I really think Zerbi can get a new level out of him. There's so much ability in Mateus Fernandes, and I think he's really going to shine. He's really going to shine a ton if we can get this over the line. Now, we have heard, obviously, there have been previous reports suggesting could Man United be waiting for a deal to be agreed to swoop in. So I have to wait and see if there's any truth to that. We have to wait and see if there's any truth to the deal actually being agreed rather than just accelerated talks right now. But you have to say it all looks really, really promising, considering when, again, a few days ago when this news first broke, we still seemed pretty distant second favourites to Man United. But it seems that we very quickly, put the money on the table and become the front runners in this deal, which is incredible. It's incredible that we've been able to do that so quickly. And it also goes to show the money that we're willing to put down on the table, and that's there for all to see that there is a willingness, to pay what's going to take to get our priority targets, which obviously hasn't been the case previously. So let's see if we can get this deal done, a deal agreed. No, don't get me wrong. 80 million. If it is 80 million, it is a massive fee for someone like Fernandes. As much as I rate him, it is a bit of a crazy fee for him because 80 million, you associate that with some of the best midfielders in the league. And has he proven to be that just yet? Maybe not, but he definitely has potential to be that. But you know what? I was just reading before that Chelsea won 75 million for Malo Gusto. If that's like the going rate for players at the moment, then who's to say if 80 million for Fernandes isn't a bad deal?
Put it this way. If Elliot Anderson is going for 120 million to Manchester City, are you telling me that Mateus Fernandes, there's 40 million difference in between them? You know what I mean? I think if Elliot Anderson's going for 120 million, I think 80 million for Fernandes is probably about right.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's a fair fee for him objectively, but I'm saying if you judge it by that transfer.
Yeah, and as I'm saying, if Gusto's 75 million, then fuck it. What 80 million for Fernandes seems like a good deal at that point. So look, for me, I think it's just great that we've identified a player that we really want in the middle. Even though, usually what's happened before with Tottenham is, Daniel Levy used to kind of wait for all the big boys to make their moves, and so we can kind of hoover up what's left. That was kind of how he did things because he didn't want to get into bidding wars. Yet we've seen Man United have gone for him. We've seen that we know that he's one of our players that we really want. And what's really great is Man United have been front runners and we haven't been put off by that. And we haven't said, okay, United are in for him, we're just backing off now. We actually went in and say, actually, we actually can afford you. We actually can blow Man United out of the water here. And let's see if Fernandes will be open to it. Why not? Because we actually really want him. And even though Man United are there, we're not scared by that. So I think that's something definitely as well that previously we would never have done.
Are we getting our pants pulled down again? Is that what's happening here?
Yeah, exactly. We're getting our pants pulled down. I wish every day we get our pants pulled down and we end up with the player. That's all I care about.
I'll tell you what, if Levy was still here at the club, Van Hecker wouldn't be here through the door. And there's no chance we would go into negotiations with Fernandes because he would think that Man United would be outbidding us and offering the wages. And there's no chance we go in for Tonali either. You know what I mean? None of these deals that we're looking at, we would be doing under Daniel Levy. So the post-Levy era is taking shape. It's taking shape.
Levy looking at this deal would be rolling in his Tottenham board grave, I think, if he was looking at this deal. Absolutely no chance that he would go and he would touch this deal. He would say, Man United are going for him. I'm not getting in a bidding war with them, so we're moving on to a different target. And he would also he would say, I am paying 80 million or 85 million. Absolutely no chance. He would probably say, I'm paying like 50 and that's it. I'm not going a penny more. That's kind of where I know Levy. That's where he would be at. So it definitely suggests a change in approach from Tottenham and a change in how we operate in the transfer market, and even just rivaling Man United and thinking we can, get one over on them when they're currently in negotiations with the player is something that is just alien to us. It's something which is why even when we heard about this deal before, you're like, yeah, we're okay, we want him, but Man United are there, and we're not really going to get him, are we? If Man United are there, well, it just shows. Even though we finished 17th twice, and Man United started negotiations weeks ago, we can still get the deals done. That shows how money talks, and I think that's something that Levy, really failed while he was chairman at Tottenham to really take advantage of. We had all these financial advantages, yet we never used that advantage ever. We only use that advantage over smaller clubs.
Yeah, and look, it says it all when last summer we're going for Mbeumo. Man United are going for Mbeumo. They've got no European football. We got Champions League. He goes to Manchester United because they're offering the better package. And obviously, he says, he always wanted Man United and he's a big Man United. I'm telling you, if we would have offered the bigger financial package, I bet you we would have come here to play Champions League football. But he went to Manchester United. Now we're the ones not in no Europe. They're the ones in Champions League. And it looks like we're going to pit them to the post to Mateus Fernandes. So this European football thing's a bit overstated, isn't it?
Well, I think yes and no. I mean, it only means so much, put it that way. I think with all things being equal, I think most people would choose a team in the Champions League. But the thing is, they haven't been equal. Last summer, we weren't prepared to pay what was necessary to maybe get the deal over the line in that instance. And I think this summer, clearly, from the reports, Man United aren't prepared to pay what's taken to get over the line. So as much European football only makes so much of a difference. If you're prepared to pay 10 to 15 million more than the other team, then that's going to take precedent, isn't it? Over the other team. But then they look back, Semenyo, apparently we offered a larger package for Semenyo, but he went to City because they're a better team. And then going for a title.
The player's got to be willing to come. The player's got to be willing to come, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
And I just can't believe 2 17th place finishes in a row and we're able to attract these kind of players. I would have thought we would have had to go for a much lower caliber of player this summer. But it just shows as well how much of a good job and how much excitement Zerbi has brought to this football club in such a short space of time. because people want to come to Tottenham to play for De Zerbi. If Thomas Frank was still here and we just about finished 17th and whatever, we just escaped relegation, there's no chance we're getting these players. De Zerbi is the X factor here.
Or even if we were, still here, sitting here waiting for Poch, would we be able to move like we're moving right now? So getting De Zerbi in just in time has seemed to have really changed. It's really changed the trajectory of this football club. Getting him in, him keeping us up, showing a little bit of De Zerbi ball as well, him having that passionate way about him. I think he's the one who gives a lot of people hope. And I know we're making all these moves, and that's super exciting. But it's only as exciting as it is because you've got someone like De Zerbi at the helm, who we know the football he plays. And if he gets, all the players that he wants to play in that system, and we pay big money to get a lot of these players in, and we're getting like these perfect profiles. I mean, it's going to be some watch next season, watching Tottenham in full flight. I'm really looking forward to it.
I know. And it's the first time we've really just like precisely targeted the profiles, the positions, exactly what we want. And if we get those two over the line, midfield done, and from pretty much from the point we sign them till the end of the window, it's just that forward line, isn't it? You get one or two wingers in, you get a number 9 in, and our incoming business will be done. And that's a complete squad overhaul, pretty much. You got players that have come in. Look, this is all hearsay. If it actually does happen, these are the players that significantly improve our starting lineup. Something that we've been calling for so long.
Yeah, many of them as well. And not only do they significantly improve the starting 11, but also players that seem to be kind of really fitting into what we want to do here as well. And then, really good profile fits for the squad. And that's something that, sometimes we've been guilty of, buying square pegs for round holes in the squad, and buying players we don't really need when there's other pressing situations. Obviously, that still has to be proven because we still need to get all the stuff done. And as well, there's a hell of a lot of departures that need to be sorted. And if looks like we're focusing on the incomings before the outgoings, which is also another difference, which we have never done before. We wouldn't sell, we wouldn't buy until we've got the players that we want out off the books. Otherwise, we end up keeping them. That's also another thing we usually do. So, I'm super excited about the start of this transfer window and where, all the noise that the club have been making, and yet now they seem to be putting it into action. And that seems to be the most encouraging thing. As Lewis family said, and I'm going to keep saying it, they said actions speak louder than words, and that's 100% true. Well, this is action. This is what we're seeing. And obviously we need all of it to go through. And if it doesn't happen, then I want to see them move on to Wharton or Alex Scott or whatever, but another big midfielder. But I want to see these kind of deals. And the fact that there's a willingness for £80 million down on the table for Mateus Fernandes, that is a real statement of intent, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, couldn't agree more. So that is the news as of now. The ITK is reporting that a verbal agreement has been agreed. It is in place between Tottenham and West Ham for the signing of Mateus Fernandes, believed to be around £80 million for the 21-year-old. So we'll wait and see. Romano, Matti Moretto, David Ornstein, we're waiting on their tweets. We're waiting on it. So I'm like literally refreshing Twitter every second for a big bombazo. But this one's good to get me going. Got my juices going. But that's the news as of now.
George Sessions, there's confidence growing. Tottenham can strike a deal for Fernandes. Final package likely to be around the £85 million mark, but work to do.
Mr. Bombastic, Mr. Fantastic. Come on!
It's mad how quickly this deal is being moving.
I know, and it feels like just Tonali's just a bit on the back burner a little bit until we get this done. Hopefully it's not gone quiet on the Tonali thing, and we actually will get that over the line as well.
I reckon what some of the rumours has been saying is there's actually not as much competition for Tonali as is Fernandes. So when it came to Fernandes, you've got to move a lot quicker.
It's a good point Hansi makes in the comments, yeah. If we're willing to put 320k down in wages for Rashford,
It's not a bad shout.
If we are willing to do that, go put the balls on the line for Victor Osimhen.
100%.
Could you imagine?
100%. Why not? He's on, what is he on now? I don't know what he's on. Go give him 350. Go get him from Galatasaray. He doesn't want to be playing in Turkey. Let's be honest. He doesn't want to be playing in Turkey. He's there because he's getting the money that he wants. But if we can give him the money, come on. What a signing that would be. That would really put us in a different territory if we got someone like Osimhen up front, a proper killer in the front line like that. He's still so good, Osimhen. I watch him play. He's still class.
He's amazing.
Spurs Journo has just tweeted again.
Saying?
He tweeted the Tonali tweet. Tottenham are increasingly confident of securing Tonali. Extensive conversations have been ongoing with Newcastle. Zerbi insisting he wants both. And for him, the Fernandes and the Italian. Spurs are not fearful of a hijack.
What the fuck is going on, man?
Spurs, so he
drops a Fernandes bomber, and an hour later he's dropping a Tonali bomber. Like, what is this football club?
Surely, what is going on here? What is going on here? What's Spurs Journo is putting his balls on the line here. Tonali and Fernandes increasingly confident, not fearful of a hijack. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear that we want to get it done before any hijack. I don't want to get too comfortable. Oh my God.
Get Sandro Tonali and get Mateus Fernandes over the line as soon as you can, people. We have to get these players. If we get these players, it puts us completely in a new stratosphere straight away without even upgrading the forward line. But we still need to upgrade the forward line for sure. But in terms of that midfield three, Fernandes, Tonali, Maddison, Xavi to come later. Where does that rank for you in the Premier League in terms of midfields?
Fernandes, Tonali, Maddison. The problem with that is you just don't know what Maddison we're going to be seeing next season. But I mean, in theory, I think already, definitely better than Newcastle's because we're taking their best midfielder. I don't think Villa have as good a midfield as that. You're looking at the Man United, or depending on who they sign, but I think what would be Bruno, Edison, and who right now would their midfield? Maybe Kobe Mainu. That's still pretty strong.
Mate, I'm looking at Arsenal's midfield. Is Rice not the only player that gets into that starting 11?
Rice, Zubimendi, and Odegaard. Arsenal fans would take Odegaard over Maddison, wouldn't they, right now?
Odegaard has been crap for 2 years.
Yeah, but Maddison's on an ACL.
Yeah, it's true. But still.
It's definitely not. It's not like they're definitely comparable, put it that way.
Like 3 years ago, they were saying like Odegaard's the best midfielder to slide Brett.
Apparently there's rumours they'd be willing to sell him this summer.
Yeah, there are. They would be willing to sell him because he's been crap.
It puts us right in the mix, but with definitely the best double pivot. It just depends. If we get a good Maddison, then it's right up there. Right up there.
I'm just messaging Spurs Journo, seeing if he wants to come on quickly and drop us a bombazo online. What do you reckon?
If he's willing to.
He's on the way to the doctors.
Tell him to get his head checked to make sure he's getting the right info. He ain't fooling us.
He's just messaged me saying, I think bomber soon.
Bomber soon.
We get
What
a
are we
bomber tonight.
mean? Well,
Are we getting the
one of the big
bombazo?
ones, one of the biggest, one of the big ones.
I think that's what he means. Yeah.
Jeez. Jeez. Madness. Absolute
Well,
madness happening at Tottenham Hotspur
regardless,
right now.
regardless, we ain't sleeping tonight anyway, so we'll be here.
Exactly.
We'll be here.
We are going to be covering all the bombers that you would wish for.
We ain't sleeping till the bomber. The bomber. Oh,
Secret
mate.
bomber.
Can you feel it coming? I can feel it coming in the air of the night. Oh, Lord.
If this is what
I've been
we're
waiting
doing,
for this moment all my life.
if this is what we're doing in June, who knows what more surprises they've got in store for us this
I
window.
know. I know.
No one saw these. No one saw these coming.
Nobody, mate.
Nobody saw these coming. These aren't players we've been linked to pre-Zerbi.
No. Pre-Zerbi, you're getting Kevin Danso. And look, Kevin Danso has been very good for us, but this ain't the same caliber. You know what I mean? Oh, it's unbelievable.
Different kettle of fish. Only
Unbelievable.
bomber is them holding the shirt. Spurs Jono just said, "Yeah, we know. We've just covered it." Unless he said something else. No, same thing. Spurs Jono SZY. The two horsemen of the transfer window.
It's coming, people. It is coming. But
The
look,
IPKs they were promised.
exactly. A lot of credibility is going to be lost if we don't get these over the line. But I believe them. I believe them. So we'll see. We'll see. It could be a double bombazo. It could be a Mr. Boombastic, Mr. Fantastic. Ah, oh, God.
It'd be too good to be true, getting them both over the line. It would just be too good to be true. I just can't even allow myself to believe it's actually happening yet. Well, it hasn't happened yet, but it looks good, man.
We never celebrated 200k subs. We'll celebrate it now with the two bombers about to come, the imminent bombers. Big up to you, though. Thank you so much. All right, look, let's call it a day there. Hopefully, we'll be back with you very, very soon. Hopefully.
We will be. Whenever anything drops, we will be covering it. You bet your ass.
So, yeah, enjoy. Scotland about to kick off against Brazil in just under half an hour. So I'm going to go and watch that. And, yeah, I got a feeling it could be a bit of a one side. You know, never know. Scotland could turn up, but it's a big game. Big game. I've been looking forward to this one. We'll see you all very soon, people. We'll see you all very, very soon. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.